All right, welcome back. Episode 211 of Chaotically Intolerant. We have a full baseball show today. We will be doing our NFL preview pretty soon, but not quite yet. But we do have the All-Star break coming up. We got a big weekend of baseball. But before we get into it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let's go. All right, Mike. So All-Star weekend coming up, but we got to get through this last weekend going into the break. This is a big weekend. First off, I mean, this is the Red Sox and Rays. That's obviously a big one to point out. Two teams battling for a wild card spot right now, but I want to talk about the past week of baseball. Give me your player of the week from this past week.
I'm going with George Springer. Man, the guy's just been on such a tear. Jays had a 10-game winning streak, although it was snapped yesterday. He got that big contract in 2021, and if you look at his numbers over the years with Toronto, they've been pretty underwhelming. He's never topped 25 homers with the Jays. He's never hit above 265. I'm sorry, 264 with the Jays, or I beg your pardon, 267. He's at 280 this year, 16 homers. He's playing well. He's healthy. He's been the real spark plug for the Jays as they've surged into first place.
Yeah. I'm going with Trevor Story. I know his numbers may not have been the best out of everyone over the past few weeks, but man, Trevor Story, it's been tumultuous in Boston. He's been expected to be the leader. He's been expected to be the guy, and he just hasn't been able to do that until now. He's got what did I have written down? He's batting 346, 3 homers, 10 RBIs, 1077 OPS. The Red Sox have won 6 straight. They're a game and a half back of the wild card. They played some shitty teams. I'm not going to say that this Red Sox team was playing some real good ball clubs, but you got to beat the bad teams. That's really important, and that's what they weren't doing for a long time this year. So, going out beating the Nationals, beating the Rockies, taking 6 straight from those two, that's really big to do, and especially when you're just clawing to try and get back into this wild card race. And they're back now. They are tied with Seattle. They're sitting there. They're ready to make that jump. So I'm giving it to Trevor Story. Congrats to Trevor Story. It's been a long time coming for him.
Definitely.
What about your bum ass player of the week?
Any chance I get to pile on the Dodgers, I want to do it, and I want to jump on Freddie Freeman's back here because he's only 2 for his last 20, and that's over his last 5 games, and it's been I'm sure a big reason why the Dodgers have lost 6 in a row for the first time in over 6 years, really, early 2019. So he has kind of stopped hitting. We saw yesterday that the top of the order did absolutely nothing, and if you are ever able to shut down the top of that Dodger lineup, that just flips the narrative so much. It just makes them so human. Freddie Freeman, 2 for 20. You just don't expect a guy that consistent to go in a funk of more than like 2 or 3 games, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go. Did Josh Hader get hurt? Am I crazy? Or is he? Because he's been struggling. I think I might go Josh Hader here.
No, but he did he's given up runs in 2 of his last 3 outings, and he's not hurt. Jake Myers left the game yesterday. Pena and Alvarez are out. That's what's crazy about the Astros. They just swept the Dodgers in LA, and then they get swept at home by a Guardians team that had lost 10 straight. That's just baseball in a nutshell.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll go Josh Hader here. I mean, Houston just kind of sitting comfortably, though, right now, above Seattle, 6.5. I mean, how did we let this happen? How did the West let it happen again, Mike? It's ridiculous.
I mean, again, I'm not even disappointed in Seattle because this is exactly who they are every single year. Slightly above average, maybe almost good. It's absurd. I don't know why I fall for it every year. Like the Astros aren't going to be good. They just emerge. And you start thinking like Isaac Paredes is an all-star. Christian Walker's starting to hit. They're doing this without Pena and Alvarez. Pena was an all-star. He's been replaced. To me, the team that's disappointed the most is Texas. That's the team I really thought would give the Astros a run for its money. I mean, obviously they didn't they lost the division on a tiebreak in 23, but obviously they got the last laugh in the ALCS, won the whole thing. I don't know. The West is. I say the same about the NL West because it always starts out great every year, and obviously it is a higher quality division for sure.
Yeah.
But the AL West, man, it's just I don't know. It's just that Houston has no resistance.
It's got to be a mental thing at this point. Like it has to be something with those teams in that division. They just cannot get over that hump. Because this is just gross. We got to watch Houston win the AL West again this year.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to watch that. That's not something I ever want to see.
Yeah.
To my team of the week, I'm going with the Toronto Blue Jays. I think we're going to share that sentiment here. 10 in a row, besides losing last night. I mean, I think going into the season, I don't think we would have seen this coming from this Blue Jays team. The Blue Jays are a good ball club. Like that's a good fucking ball club right there. And they're sitting 2.5 ahead of the Yankees right now. Where are they at among the division? All right, so they're third in the division leaders right now, but they're right on Houston's tail. So I don't know how long this is going to last. I feel like Toronto does this every few years where they kind of try to make you think they're a really good team, and then they, maybe they hit the trade deadline and they make some bad moves or something like that, and they just kind of tank again and let the cream of the crop rise. But for right now, we're gonna ride this Blue Jays wave.
Yeah. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. I one of these websites just froze up my computer. It was like Athlon Sports. All right, you can hear this part. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I mean this again. I mean you can point and say that they've played some really shitty teams, but that's how you get on a roll. That's how you get feeling good. And it's not like they're playing these games close. They're going out there and they're blowing these crappy teams out, and that's exactly what you want. Not one of the Nationals game was competitive. They even got both Davey Martinez and their general manager fired. That's a pretty good feat, I'd say, if you're a baseball team, getting them fired midseason. But it feels good right now. I'm not really going to be fooled, because we've done this before this year. We did it against the Yankees and Rays just at the beginning of June. So I'm happy to have this going on right now, but again, I'm not fooled. We've seen this before. So do it against the Rays. Take 2 of 3 again, or 3 of 4 against the Rays this weekend. Then you'll have me believing. It does get me a little nervous going into the All-Star break, maybe being on this high, being on a high. I get a little nervous that the momentum will be stopped. I hope it's going to be, we needed a little bit of rest. Now we're really going to go. But sometimes we see it where teams get hot right before the All-Star break, and then they hit that break and that momentum just cuts down. So yeah, I'm very curious on how they're going to react to this. Alex Bregman's an all-star, by the way. That's weird. That's bizarre. I don't know why he would be. I mean, I'm not saying he was bad when he was playing, but he hasn't played in 2 months. That just doesn't make sense to me. I would have understood it if he came back like June 15th, or maybe even like this past weekend and he just started raking. Or the weekend before the finalists were announced, and then he just started raking. But I don't really get it. And the fact that Julio Rodriguez is in is ridiculous.
Yeah,
as well.
That is, no Mariner offensively other than Cal Raleigh. Maybe in the last 20 years should be in the All-Star game. Maybe 2014.
Yeah. My bum ass team of the week, I'm taking Cleveland. Not good. I don't think there's really much to say.
Well, I mean, now that after losing 10 in a row, they win 3 in a row in Houston, which is awesome. If you told me they were 3-10, I would only care that they were 3-0 against the Astros. But yeah, they've really fallen off. I mean, their biggest strength last year was their bullpen, and it's cracked a little this year. I mean, actually, the rotation's been decent. It's just been the offense. And again, this is kind of what you get when you don't. They didn't invest in any offensive talent. It never seems like they have that good of an offense. But even with Jose Ramirez, even with Steven Kwan, who had been in a bit of a prolonged slump, yeah, they're struggling. Mine is it's going to be the Dodgers. I love it. I don't know if we'll ever get to say this again. They've lost 6 in a row. Like I said, first time since early 2019. They've lost that many games in a row. They still, of course, because they built a big cushion, have a 5-game lead.
5 games. Yeah.
National League West, 6 on San Diego, 9.5 on Arizona. And in case you're wondering, 34.5 on Colorado. Not that they were worried. The bullpen has been, it's not, so the thing is, their bullpen hasn't been bad. But Tanner Scott has 6 blown saves this year, and they clearly don't trust Kirby Yates as a closer. Evan Phillips being out for the year really hurts. Bruce Gratterall may pitch this year. He's coming back from labrum surgery, and they are expected to get Blake Trinan back after the All-Star break. But surprisingly, kind of under the radar, Michael Kopech had meniscus surgery, and he'd been a guy who'd been dominant in his first 8 games. So they don't really, at the moment, have like a viable closer. And it's been a bit problematic, and maybe it will, hopefully it will, be problematic in the postseason. They haven't hit much. Again, Milwaukee really shut them down. They held the Dodgers to 4 runs, now in part because Mizorowski and Peralta pitched, and we could talk about the Brewers. They've gotten very hot too, but I think the Dodgers losing 6 in a row is a shocker. I mean, look, they're going to go through little bumps in the road. I don't think you ever expect them to go through basically a winless week. And they're at the Giants this weekend, first time they visit San Francisco. So, they've been cold. San Francisco's been hot. We'll see if that continues or if the law of averages kind of even the scales again.
Yeah. Yeah. My surprise player of the week, going with Romy Gonzalez out of Boston. I mean, just I'm looking at all these stat sheets. I mean, Boston is just right up there right now. It's pretty awesome to see. I don't know how long this is going to last. But Romy, 524, 2 homers, 7 RBIs at a 1,600 OPS. I mean, listen, from essentially a utility guy who was just thrown into the drama, what that is the Boston Red Sox. Rafael Devers, by the way, stinking in San Francisco. Terrible. He has been struggling so far in San Fran, and he did not show up for first base workouts. Right. So sounds like that story is continuing in San Francisco. I still, if he's a great, when he's great, these stories go away. I really just do think that. I don't think you hear as much about the first base thing if he's not batting like under 200 or under the Mendoza line or something like that. But yeah, Romy Gonzalez has really just shown maturity, I guess, at times. He's also had moments where he's not mature, but yeah, great to see it from Romy. Love to see it.
Yeah, mine is Adrian Hauser, who's suddenly becoming a big trade candidate. His last 2 starts, 1 earned run over 15 innings. Rockies, okay, but then against the Jays. And actually, prior to that, 7 scoreless. So you're talking about 22 innings. This guy's given up 1 earned run. For the year, he's sporting an ERA of 1.56. He's basically had been a journeyman starter. One major beef I have with him is I don't know why he's a repeat offender of the regurgitation club. He did it again yesterday. He's done it like 4 times in a game. I mean, I don't know what his problem is. I don't know if he has some sort of GI issue or something that needs to be examined by a doctor, but I don't want to. I'm almost afraid to watch this guy pitch on TV because I don't know what's going to happen.
He's just having too much Red Bull before he goes out there.
Something.
I think that's what it is.
Clearly, very sensitive stomach.
He's getting himself too hyped up. He's just getting too nervous. It's happened to me before. I've just gotten a little too hyped up.
Yeah, he did after the first inning, and then he came back and didn't give anything up. So
that's how you do it.
It's really well. I mean, and I don't know that anyone would have seen that coming. It's basically just a scrap heap pickup for the White Sox, and now they have maybe some leverage because he's clearly not going to be a long-term guy. They're never going to get value this high on him to trade. So teams desperate for starting pitching. Again, I mean, not just a guy who's pitching effectively, but a guy that's pitched 22 innings over 3 games. So he's getting deep into games, and that's really appealing for teams. They need not just good starters, but length. So yeah, Hauser's really come out of nowhere.
Yeah. All right, I want to jump into the All-Star game a little bit because this is going to be our last show before the All-Star game. Where we will be doing a live stream, I think, during the All-Star game on TikTok and YouTube. It'll be with the Spring Hill Sports Cards guys. We're going to figure that out a little more. But I want to talk, who's your biggest snub from the American League for All-Star? I think I have mine, but I want to hear yours.
Well, I, maybe a little biased. I feel like Jackson Holiday was one. I think he could have made a case for him. I don't know if he's the biggest. And Junior Caminero is a name, but I actually think it might be Joe Ryan from the Twins. This is a guy that's been great for a team that has not been great and a team that has really had starting pitching issues. Guy's got a whip of .89. He's got 116 strikeouts in 104 and a third innings. He's 8-4 with a 2.76 ERA. Seems like he's been good every single start. I know in his last 5 starts, they've all been quality starts. If we believe that quality starts are really properly, qualified. Actually, six straight quality starts in a row. So I would have liked to have seen a Twins pitcher maybe get some love. His numbers are certainly all-star worthy.
What about in the National League?
I don't want to say Soto because I don't feel bad. He actually had a quote that said, "I left a lot of money on the table," and it was like $120,000.
He's living paycheck to paycheck, Mike. What?
I mean, unless all that money every couple of weeks is getting donated somewhere or being taken by someone that we're not aware of, I don't know. Mine's Seiya Suzuki. Guy's 25 home runs and 259 at the All-Star break. He's got an 869 OPS. He's been as important as anybody in a loaded Cubs lineup. I mean, look, the run that Michael Busch has been on, I mean, he really made a late push for All-Star. I love it because the Dodgers gave him up to make room for Freddie Freeman, and he's had an All-Star caliber year. I think it's come on a little more lately. He's gotten very hot of late, but I would go with Seiya Suzuki.
In the American League, again, as a Red Sox homer, there's a couple guys I could really say. I mean, you do look at Carlos Narvaez, and you think, how does this guy not get in? But then you look at the American League catchers, and Alejandro Kirk and Cal Raleigh are your 2 American League catchers. Well, you absolutely can't take out Cal Raleigh. He absolutely deserves a starting spot this year. And then Alejandro Kirk has been a nice surprise in helping this the surging Blue Jays team. But Carlos Narvaez has been he doesn't even seem like a rookie. He's a rookie. It doesn't make any sense to me. He seems like a seasoned veteran who has learned under Jason Varitek. That's what it feels like. And it's awesome to see, and I really hope he doesn't get snubbed next year, but I don't really think there's anyone else that is less deserving ahead of him. I do look at Ceden Rafaela and Julio Rodriguez, and I'm really scratching my head here. I mean, there's a few different outfielders you could probably look at, but Ceden Rafaela, you could definitely put him in over, because, you can say center field or whatever, but it's outfielder. That's what it is in the All-Star game. They don't give a shit about the actual positions out there. But I would really like to see Ceden Rafaela. And then I'm going to go in the National League. I'm going with Andy Pages. He's got a 3.0 F-WAR. I know it's a Dodger, but I love Andy Pages. I really wish we could have seen him in his uniform, and which we're getting the uniforms back. We're getting what we wanted back in the All-Star game this year, which is awesome. I don't know if we've talked about it on this show, but they will be wearing their regular uniforms in the All-Star game. So biggest win I could have all year. Honestly, that's the best part of it.
I love when leagues actually can go back to these little things. Like the NFL will always be slime balls. Will never go back to having like the original Super Bowl logos or, maybe smaller things with the schedule or whatever. But MLB absolutely got this one right. And yeah, I'm with you. Pages has absolutely had all-star numbers, but again, and he's one of the 2 homegrown players actually in that Dodger lineup, him and Will Smith, who is in the All-Star game. But he's a good one, and he's got an absolute cannon for an arm. And maybe he's good in outfield arm. Well, him and I'm biased towards Ramon Laureano, the Laser Show, but Pages has an absolute rocket out there in the outfield.
When did we start calling him Laser Show? When did that happen? Because
Laureano?
Ramon Laureano.
Well, that goes back to his Oakland days. That was
Dustin Pedroia has always been the Laser Show. He's always been the Laser Show.
Well, I think this was for the defensive side.
Yes,
and I think it was probably Dallas Braden. I don't think Glenn Kuiper, R.I.P. to his career, came up with that. But somebody out there came up with it, and Laureano absolutely is he's a weapon out there in the outfield.
Yeah. And then to the home run derby. Tell me if you think anyone got snubbed, or if just someone in here doesn't deserve to be in there. I'm thinking maybe O'Neal Cruz. I think they put him in just for the excitement factor of it. But we have Ronald Acuna Jr., James Wood, O'Neal Cruz, Cal Raleigh, Byron Buxton, Junior Caminero, and Brent Rooker.
Yeah, I I think you're right. I think it feels very odd to have a pirate who's hitting like 210 in any kind of
Yeah.
all-star festivities.
And he's not even
Um,
an all-star. He's not even an all-star.
no, no, I can understand. Like they did it with Giancarlo Stanton whenever that game was in San Diego. I forget what year that was, like 17 or 18, maybe, or no, maybe it was 16. I don't know. But he was in the Derby just because he's got prodigious power. I kind of would like to see Stanton in it just because he hits the ball. I mean, I'd like to see Otani in it, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But I just want guys with insane exit velocity. I think a guy like Schwarber would be fun because he just hits these big moon shots. But I know that it's sort of trended towards like lesser named guys. I mean, back in the day, it was Ken Griffey was in the home run derby. It was always you got to watch, you got to see it.
Yeah.
But and I'm happy Brent Rooker's in it. Brent Rooker's really developed into a nice player. The A's locked him up long term, which was smart and rare for them. But yeah, O'Neal Cruz. I maybe I'm not aware of how far his 16 home runs have gone, but I'm not in a rush to watch.
They're far. They a lot of them have gone far. So it's not a massive shock to me, but like it's just he kind of stands out. You're like this guy is hitting I don't what is he hitting like 220, 230 maybe. He can hit the ball far. That's awesome, but he's not even up there in like that home run race with Cal Raleigh and Judge and is Otani still up there? I can't even remember at this point.
I'm sure.
Also, the in this list it has like Atlanta Braves, Washington Nationals. Then it goes to athletics, and it just says athletics,
Athletics.
not even Sacramento.
And I'm glad Byron Buxton's in it too. He's a guy that's hit some really long home runs. Jack Caglione hit like a 466 foot homer yesterday. That would have been nice to see him. Carlos Mendoza said he was very surprised that Pete Alonso's not doing it. Obviously, even there's a lot of guys you can't go wrong with that aren't in the Derby. By the way, we also should point out how odd is it in talking about snubs that the NL hits leader Trey Turner is not in the All-Star game. Another kind of a head scratcher.
Yeah.
As well. I want to see. I like seeing Bryce Harper in it just because his swing is so violent and he looked. I mean, if he unlocked it yesterday with 4 hits off Verlander, that's going to really change things around for the Phillies. By the way, just throwing that in there.
Bryce Harper, 2018 champion. So we have seen him.
I went to that All-Star game, but I went to the Futures game on the Sunday, but I missed the Derby, and I think the Derby was actually great. Oh, the All-Star game was great. Went to extra innings that year. Pre-rule, it should have been Gene Segura. He's very rightfully upset he didn't win MVP, but it went to Alex Bregman. And but that was a great game, but I missed out on the Derby. I kind of regret that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm also still baffled how Bregman made it.
Yeah,
doesn't make sense to me. There's not enough. There's not enough there.
Just name recognition and Boston fandom.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm glad.
Hate out there that they would just go against them for that.
I think that has already. It feels like that has already subsided. I think just being in Boston, there's something about it, and the Devers thing. He was kind of like not the good guy, but he was more like on the innocent. Hey, I'm just here to play. I'm just here to play. Like I'm just here to play third. So I think that definitely helped him because a lot of the hatred's been focused on Devers since the beginning of the year, and the mind of the collective group of humanity, or the memory of the collective group of humanity, is pretty short. It's a short-term memory. All right, let's go over this weekend of games. Let's start with sorry, I'm looking at Friday. Marlins Orioles in Baltimore.
How about those Marlins? I mean, right, where did that come from? They're ahead of the Braves by a couple games, 4.5 ahead of the Nats.
Only 11 games back.
Yeah, O's have been playing better. Marlins have been playing better. I really like Xavier Edwards, by the way, on the Marlins. I just like watching that kid play. Obviously, Agustin Ramirez, candidate for Rookie of the Year. It's like two teams that are like playing well, but kind of with completely different feels. The Marlins, everything they're doing is gravy. Everything the Orioles are doing is just making up for underwhelming expectations.
Cubs Yankees, great old time matchup. Maybe we'll see some old time uniforms in this one.
Yeah, bad times for the Cubs last time they went to New York. They got blitzed and they got swept. But they didn't play great in Houston. They only won one of those games. But man, the Cubs lineup just loaded, loaded. They lost 2 games now to the Twins, but their lineup and got the lefties to hit it at Yankee Stadium. Tucker, PCA, Michael Bush. Let's see if those guys can take advantage of the short porch. And unfortunately, the Yankees. I loved that they had lost 6 in a row. They fell out of first place, but good teams tend to follow long losing streaks if they have them with winning streaks. The Yankees have done that, winning 3 straight. We'll see. I mean, every series, every big series for the Cubs is a real test because I feel like I'm kind of sold on them, but I'm not totally sold. They did go 4-3 against the Dodgers, but again, they didn't play great in that Houston series. So this will maybe tell people. They close the first half with some momentum. Can they play well against a contending team?
Yeah. Rays, Red Sox in Boston. This is probably the series of the weekend.
You take this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a test. It's can you beat a good team? I think that's all you can say about either of these teams. The Rays, they were on that big hot streak for a while, and they were having talks about hosting the ALCS at Steinbrenner Stadium in October. And they have fallen off a little bit. But this is that big test. This is where you don't empty the tank fully, but you have a nice little break coming up. So I want to see a lot of creativity from Alex Cora. I want to see, maybe don't overthink it, but I want to see some creativity. I want to see them use as many guys from the bullpen as possible. Use Aroldis Chapman. I don't care about the All-Star game. I don't care that he was selected for that. Use Aroldis Chapman, This isn't your make or break series, of course, because we're hanging in there. But you can make a really big jump and change the course of your season with this series. In early October, if you make or miss out on the playoffs, you could look back on this series and say, "Hey, this was it. This was the tone setter. This is your tone setter right now. You're gonna be at Fenway. It better be loud. It better be packed." I don't even know what to say. I don't know if I want the stadium to be packed because I don't want John Henry to get any more money, but I do care about the team and I want the guys on the team to succeed. And they're hitting that right stride right now. And hopefully they can win in a way that feels like you can carry it through the All-Star break, carry that momentum through the All-Star break. And the Rays, I just don't care about the Rays. I don't want them to be happy or successful or anything because they literally play in a minor league ballpark now, which is hilarious. I drove by the Trop last night or Tuesday night. I'm sorry. Still just torn to bits. It's hilarious. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate the Trop. I hate the
Trop
it
too. Although I feel for them. It's at the Rays' fault, unfortunately for them, but, they need a new stadium. They needed one even before it got torn up. And that
there's so many people who live in Florida who love the Trop just because it has AC. They're like, oh, it's you could have another stadium that looks awesome and has AC. Why do we need the disgusting Trop? No character, no life.
No, but cool to see that the Rays do have 3 All-Stars from their lineup: Brandon Lau, Jonathan Aranda, and now Junior Caminero. So, kind of would not have expected that.
Yeah. Definitely. Rockies, Reds, anything here?
Well, the Rockies, it's fantastic. They're 51 games below 500 going into the All-Star break, or right now before the All-Star break. They play Cincinnati. Actually, I think that streak is still alive for Cincinnati where they haven't been swept, and they will not get swept by the Marlins because they won last night. So assuming they don't get swept, even if the Rockies were to win 2 out of 3 there, they would be 50 games under 500 at the All-Star break. That is exceptionally, awesomely bad. And, obviously goes without saying, if Cincinnati's going to contend, got to take that series. Got to sweep it, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Mariners, Tigers in Detroit on Apple TV on Friday night.
Mariners doing the Mariners, just being mediocre enough to maybe squeak into the playoffs while letting the Astros control the division. They do play the Astros coming out of the break in Seattle, so maybe a chance for them to give us even more false hope. Tigers playing great, no signs of slowing down. Best team in baseball record-wise. We'll be very curious to see what they do at the deadline. I believe they need another starter. And they could probably use another bat. Why not go for broke? You got this great opportunity here. I don't know if Scooble's pitching before the break. I think he's not. I don't think he's pitching before the break. I know Flaherty and Mize are lined up to pitch in that series, so good luck, Seattle. You're getting destroyed by the Yankees. If you get destroyed by the Tigers, then you got to come out of the break and play the Astros.
Yeah. Mets Royals in Kansas City.
10 years later, World Series. Mets kind of starting to come back after that really rough stretch. Royals, bad.
They're a half game out right now, Philly.
Yeah, and the Royals just, yeah, I mean, like, they didn't really address the offense. They've won 4 in a row, and they're only back to within 2 games of 500. But when you start looking at the wild card, they're 3 back of the Red Sox and the Mariners for that last year. So they're not out of it by any means. We know they have pretty good pitching. We know they have a superstar in Bobby Witt, but it just feels like they don't have enough there to make a real run. And then so you go up against the Mets team, and when that lineup's going, it's going. So we'll see. I just love the nostalgia. 2015, 2025, 10 years later.
Can't believe it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
2015. That's nuts. Rangers, Astros, Battle of Texas in Houston.
Big for the Rangers. Big for the Rangers. We don't really know what they're going to do. They're starting to slip. They're one of the most fascinating teams at the deadline. Chris Young said, no way we're trading Jacob deGrom. I don't know if he made that same proclamation about Eovaldi, but I would venture that they're not going to move Eovaldi either. Their strength is their rotation. They need to figure out. I think they're going to still go for something, get another bat, whether it's like a Marcelo Ozuna. Maybe they bring back Nathaniel Lowe. I'm not sure. That they're teetering. They're teetering, and maybe they're going to get the Astros now at the best possible time they can get them. No Pena, no Alvarez, maybe no Jake Myers. Like, this is a banged up Astros team. Even Hunter Brown gave up 6 runs in his last start. Maybe he's going to become a little more vulnerable. I don't know. This is a huge survival series for Texas.
Yeah. Very make or break. Going into the break here, or the All-Star break. Twins, Pirates in Minnesota.
I don't know. What do you say? The Twins are within 2 of 500. They have a chance to sweep the Cubs. I mean, I don't know. I know they're not good. I know they're not actually good. But if they beat the Pirates, if they sweep them, they'll be over 500 at the All-Star break. And
I mean, they're 3 out of the wild card right now. This is not over whatsoever for them. It's a wasted spot if they make it. But
absolutely. Yeah. The Brewers, too, even though they're playing well. If the Twins make it, it's a waste. They're doing it with a banged-up rotation. And Pittsburgh had won 6 in a row. And just like I said, good teams follow long losing streaks with long winning streaks. Well, flip that. Pirates followed a 6-game winning streak with a 6-game losing streak. So I don't think we're going to see Paul Skeens. I don't.
Skeens on Friday versus Joe Ryan.
Maybe he doesn't. Is he starting the All-Star game then? He's on short rest? Because I think he was named the All-Star starter. So maybe they. I don't know. Maybe they shorten his start. Seems odd to me, but.
Let's see here.
But, they shouldn't change things around for the All-Star game.
Starting pitchers in the wrong place here.
I don't know. I don't know.
There's a legend pick in the All-Star game?
There is. It was Miguel Cabrera before, and it's Kershaw.
It's Kershaw this year.
Yeah, I don't know if they've announced the starting pitchers for the All-Star game. Maybe it's dependent on who's pitching.
Yeah, it looks like they haven't done that yet.
I thought they had. I mean, obviously, if it was based on the best, it'd be the 2 Cy Young frontrunners, Skubal and Skeens. But that apparently not going to be the case. So I mean, out there, just let him start the darn thing. I mean,
Skubal also starts on Friday.
Yeah, so there you go. I don't think either of those guys are going to pitch in the All-Star game. To be honest, it's a little weird with pitchers getting the nod. I mean, they almost should just replace him. If they're not going to pitch. Why not replace him with the guy who's eligible to pitch? I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
I mean, All-Stars, we're talking mid-season All-Stars anyway. But, Skeens against Joe Ryan. So you have the guaranteed All-Star against an All-Star snub.
Yeah. Guardians, White Sox. Just win. That's all you got to say to the Guardians. You have to win.
Keep it rolling. Yeah, you lost 10 in a row. Then you sweep the Astros. Now you can't just go in and get beat by the White Sox. I mean, at least split the series, maybe take 3 out of 4. I mean, no one ever expects a team to sweep 4 games, especially on the road against a division team, even if it is the White Sox. But yeah, this is your last window, I think, if you're the Guardians, to make a push.
Nationals, Brewers. Nationals just kind of in a free fall right now. They did win last night or today, but yeah, Nationals really bad. They looked like a team that had given up against the Red Sox.
2019 wildcard game rematch. I was there. Brewers, Nats. They fired Dave Martinez, Mike Rizzo last week. Not a surprise. Brewers
Mike
playing.
Rizzo has been there since 2013.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
That is insane.
Hard to believe. Second, tied for second fewest wins in the NL, although they're 2 ahead of the Pirates in the loss column. The Nats are, but the Brewers are playing great baseball. 4 straight wins, just swept the Dodgers. They have moved to within a game and a half of the Cubs in the Central. The way they started the season, I don't think anyone saw that coming. But how about having 3 starters? If Woodruff comes back healthy, you got him, Freddie Peralta, who in my opinion is the most underrated starter in baseball, and this Jacob Mizorowski looks like this year's version of Paul Skeens.
I'm sorry. He has been in Washington since 2007.
Yeah, I
Mike
knew he'd
Rizzo.
been there. He had to have been there when they kind of started this turnaround with Strasburg and everything.
Assistant GM in 07 to 08, general manager from 09 to 12, and then GM, president of baseball ops. So essentially general manager since 2009.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Very sad, and in a lot of ways, I pull for the Nats, having lived there, and obviously love what they did in 2019. And it was necessary, I think, just enough time and enough struggles. I'm very disappointed they never got to properly defend their title in 2020. But yeah, I mean, inevitable change. They got some great young players playing well, but just as a team, they're just not there.
Yeah, James Wood is a behemoth of a human being.
Yeah.
It is insane.
Yeah, the entire haul they got in the trade for Soto is amazing. It's not, I mean, Rizzo pulled off a genius deal. They got James Wood, CJ Abrams, Mackenzie Gore, and even Robert Hassel, right? Yeah. Haskell, I always forget his name. Anyway, but yeah, the other 3 guys have emerged as like star level talent.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Braves, Cardinals, just kind of one team on one side of 500, the other team on the other side of 500, but they do kind of feel the same to me. Underachieving.
Yeah. I mean, the Braves have to be sellers. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I mean, Anthopoulos is always really savvy, whatever he does. And I think that Braves have a lot of guys on very affordable or team-friendly type deals. So probably gives them some more leverage if they want to move those guys. Yeah, they're not going anywhere at 40 and 51. The Cardinals are only a game and a half out of a wild card. We kind of lost track of them this year. They've kind of just been under the radar. But
I think they've been mediocre. They feel like a mediocre team, but they find ways to win.
They do. They've been good at home. They're 27 and 18 at home, but they're 7 games under against over 500 teams. Yeah, I don't know. I think, but again, anybody would probably have been happy in St. Louis if you told them that they were right in the thick of things at the All-Star break.
Yeah. D-backs, Angels. Angels quietly, maybe fighting for second place.
Also 3 out of a wild card. I mean, we're sitting joking around, but the AL's pretty weak, and the Angels are. They're only 4 and 6 in their last 10. They're trying to win without Ron Washington, but hopefully Wash is okay, recovers from whatever he's dealing with, and the Diamondbacks, they're very much moving towards seller status. Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly will be 2 very sought after starters. Maybe Josh Naylor gets moved. Like the Diamondbacks. They're only 4.5 out of a wild card. They're a game under 500. They've dealt with a ton of injuries to their bullpen, Justin Martinez, Tommy John, so they lose their closer. It's like they're in it, but I think because they have so many guys with good trade value, they have to go in that direction. I think it gives them maybe a quicker roadmap to rebuilding. And it's not a full rebuild because I think they have enough talent in place. I mean, obviously losing Corbin Burns for the year hurts, so you maybe get him back next year. You plug in a couple of really of high-end prospects. I mean, I think this is a great opportunity for the Diamondbacks to be sellers. I mean, if they sweep the Angels, which they could, maybe they're rethinking it a little bit, but they're not winning the West. We know that. So their path in would be wild card, which obviously they did go to the World Series as a wild card 2 years ago, but I think they have to be sellers. They have to look at the opportunities they have.
Yeah. Phillies, Padres.
Yeah, Phillies, to me, it feels like the Phillies are the quietest, really good team. It's not like we didn't expect it. They're 15 over. They're a half game up on the Mets for first place. But it's like with a healthy Bryce Harper hitting, that lineup becomes so dangerous. To me, it's all about that Philly bullpen. I mean, Zach Wheeler is right in the Cy Young conversation, as we've expected. Suarez, Sanchez pitching well. They're without Nola for a while. They could probably use another starter to fill out the back end of the rotation. And the Padres, I mean, they're game out of the wild card, 6 out of first in the West. They did just get Yu Darvish back. If they're going to make moves, they got to add a bat or two. Their bullpen's great. Morejon has had a great year to team with Jason Adam and Suarez. Jason Adam, an all-star, by the way. I'm not sure if Suarez made it or not. I think he did. But anyway, Padres, yeah, this is a show me series for them with the Phillies coming in. And the Phillies are playing well. It's not like I wouldn't call the Padres teetering on the brink by any means, but they really, yeah, and Suarez did make the All-Star team, by the way. But they do have to, I feel like the Phillies need to prove something to people this weekend.
Ranger Suarez not an
Not Ranger,
all-star?
Robert Suarez. He made the All-Star team. That's what I was talking about. Sorry. Yes, there are two R Suarez's in this series. Robert Suarez is him and Jason Adam as Padres relievers making the All-Star team.
Okay. Yeah, Ranger Suarez is pitching tomorrow. He's starting
pitching
Friday.
well. He was hurt for a while, so again, he just hasn't pitched enough. But yeah, he's actually been fantastic when he's pitched.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Someone said it had a thing saying that the Dodgers were predicted to land him at the trade deadline. That would be crazy. I can't imagine. First of all, that's ridiculous. He shouldn't be allowed. But why would the Phillies?
Yeah, why of all teams, why would they be getting rid of him?
I have no idea where that came from, unless the Phillies. I don't know that is this. Yeah, this is a recent article. I was thinking, was this like before the year or something?
Maybe they're listening to your.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You tracking
them. I misread that. I apologize. They're talking about free agency next year. Yes, I'm sure the Dodgers.
Oh, okay.
If they come up short of the World Series, they're just going to shove it in everyone's face. They're going to sign Kyle Tucker, Ranger Suarez. It's just an onslaught until baseball fixes it. But anyway,
yeah.
Talking about the here and now. Yeah, Suarez is not. I knew that didn't look right. I don't think they're trading Ranger Suarez this year.
That wouldn't make sense at all. Blue Jays Athletics. That like mid 2000 to our 2010s rivalry. I love the matchup. Just the color matchup between the Blue Jays and Athletics. It's just awesome to look at. The Josh Donaldson Bowl. Too bad the Athletics are not as good as you would hope them to be. But
no, and I'm not sure. I think Jacob Wilson was hit by a pitch the other night, but he's iffy for the All-Star game, so he's out. I'm guessing he's going on the IL because they got the All-Star break built in. He was hit on the wrist, no broken bones, which is good, but I'm sure he's in some pain. No need to push it in the All-Star game. The Jays, I mean, you win 10 in a row, like you're going to come back to earth. Question is, how far back to earth are the Jays going to come? Can they at least stay steady here as they kind of inevitably come back down? And this is, because you're playing the A's, right? You should win. I mean, but the Astros should have beat the Guardians after they swept the Dodgers. Just doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Scherzer and Severino on Friday night.
Old school matchup.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very old school matchup. This whole matchup is old school.
Yeah.
And then speaking of old school matchups, Dodgers Giants. Friday night, another big series for the West. Maybe the Giants gain a little ground in the West right before the All-Star break. Dodgers slipping. This is, if you're going to get the Dodgers, this is the time right now, especially at home.
Yeah. By the way, it was Blue Jays A's was ALCS in '92. That's what I knew they had a postseason thing. And the Jays started their back-to-back. Yeah.
Well, and then did they have the wild card game
or
the
wild card? It was just the two division winners. That was like the Dave Stewart. I forget if he was on the Jays yet. Anyway, Giants, Dodgers. Yeah, this is a massive series for the Giants. It never feels like it's a massive series for the Dodgers at all unless it's like the last week of September and the division title's on the line. It just never feels like the regular season is important for the Dodgers. They've never treated it as important because they don't have to. But they got Logan Webb going Friday. First game of that series, he pitched great against the Dodgers in LA. The Giants only won one of those 3 games, but they are looking like if they lose 2 out of 3 at home, or God forbid get swept 6 or 8 back, yeah, you're starting to think they're not making that up in the second half. They get within 4, maybe. I think the Giants need to add a bat. By the way, they had an awesome win. I happened to be up late watching it live. Patrick Bailey, walk-off inside the park home run. I feel like Angel Pagan did that a little while back. There was a walk-off inside the park home run. I mean, AT&T Park is like the inside the park home run park of all inside the home run.
Well, and we missed our show last week. We missed William Abreu's inside the park home run and grand slam in the same game at Fenway.
Right. Yeah, very cool feat. And I think it had been done once in like the 30s in Red Sox history, or the 40s.
And that was, I think that was against the Reds, but I can't remember if that was the same game as the retro broadcast. I don't know if you saw the retro broadcast. It was honoring the 1975 World Series, and they did a 70s style broadcast where, like the score bug was like 70s style. There was no animations. It was just runs, balls, and strikes, like the basics that you need. And then like the stat animations that they had was just the name, like their average, maybe like the slugging percentage, and home runs and RBIs. It was amazing. They even put a filter on the screen to make it look like the old cameras. And all the announcers were wearing 70s style outfits. It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. You really would appreciated that. I wish we did miss our show last week, but I wish we had a show just to talk about that. Just, it was basic, and that's what you need. That's what baseball is. It needs to be basic. It doesn't need to be complicated.
Right. No, never complicate baseball. But yeah, big series. Giants need to add a bat, I think. Also, Helio Ramos maybe could have made the All-Star game, but it was very, very nice to see. Well, first of all, Robbie Ray and also Randy Rodriguez, the R Squad, making it along with Logan Webb. I think I'll say this: they got to win the game. They got to win tomorrow, Friday. They got to win the Logan Webb game. That turns out if you lose that game and it's like the combination of losing with Logan Webb and losing the opener, it feels like you're not going to win the series. And you're at home. I think you got to win the series if the Giants have any hope. Because you think, it's only a couple games, difference. But like, believe me, if anyone knows how that goes, it's the Giants 2021. Like, came down to the very last day of the season. So yeah, huge series. And we'll see if the Dodgers losing 6 in a row. It's not like they're going to lose 9 in a row, I don't think. But you've got a time where they're banged up. Certainly pitching wise, they're banged up. And they did get Glasnow back. He pitched well, but he won't go in this series. But you got Ohtani kind of slumping a little bit. He did it a homer. Betts has just not had a great year. Freeman, as I said, 2 for his last 20. Pages has cooled off a lot. Teoscar Hernandez battling injury. Like, this is the time, I think, to get him if you're the Giants.
Yeah. The bat that was supposed to be added to help the Giants, Rafael Devers, has been hitting 225 since he joined the Giants. He currently has 2 home runs, 5 doubles, 18 hits total, 80 at-bats, 9 RBIs. Let's just keep going through. 344 on base percentage.
Get the point. Well, you want to endear yourself to the Giants fans in an instant. Play well against the Dodgers. If he has a big series this weekend, nobody's going to remember these first few weeks as a Giant. I guarantee you. If he has like a breakout series and helps them win a game against the Dodgers, I know I'll forgive him.
Yeah. Will Clark, actually, I just saw, had some expletive-filled rant defending Rafael Devers after all this drama and kind of going at Will Fleming, who is the Red Sox announcer, and I think he's on NESN. So maybe Giants fans don't hate him so quickly. Maybe they're not super angry with Devers so far. But we'll see. I don't know. I hope the best for the guy. Seems like a fine person.
And by the way, I don't know what the long-term plan is with Ohtani pitching, but he's looked great. That's a scary thought. Now he's only gone as many as 2 innings. He goes on Saturday against Landon Raup. I can't know how you pronounce it. And then Yamamoto against Robbie Ray. All-star matchup on Sunday. So I think for the most part, and Dustin May going tonight, by the way, for the Dodgers, but I think for the most part, the Giants have everything lined up as well as they could. I don't know about Landon Raup. He didn't pitch well against the Dodgers at all last time they faced, but and Verlander 0-7. Is he going to get a win at some point this year? He actually pitched okay yesterday, but they lose the game 13-0. But he wasn't bad. It was really the bullpen against the Phillies. But anyway, big series.
Yeah, very big. All right, that's a good spot to wrap it up. Go see Superman. I saw it on Tuesday. It's awesome. I'm seeing it again tonight, Thursday night. But go see it. It's very good, very unique. It's definitely a move. The way that it's made is not something I've seen before. So go see that. But make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out Spring Hill Sports Cards. Their show will be dropping tonight. and we will see you next week.